This is known as bullet. Created and popularized by Andrei Jikh, this is one of the most dynamic and coolest one-hand card flourishes you can perform. Hi, my name is Josep Vidal, and for the last 16 years, I've been learning, creating, and performing magic all around the world. And in this video, I'll be teaching you everything you need to know to learn this cool card move in no time. So if this sounds good to you, grab your deck of cards, sit down, and let's get into it. So to learn bullet, even though it's an easy move to learn, what we're gonna do is to break down the routine in different sections, because you will see most of it could be treated as an independent move, so we can get an understanding on all the details and the way we have to position the hand and so on. So after this, once we interiorize all these details, we can put it all into a sequence so we can practice it over and over until we get it done. So as most of the tutorials and as most of the card flourishes you will start or learn, I recommend it always to start from a mechanics grip position. The reason why is because this position will always allow you in a very consistent and confident way to start with the same conditions, which is in this case is from a fully and nice square deck. So once we're here, what we're gonna do first to start bullet is to push the top card slightly, more or less around an inch, or I would say if you want to have a reference like the width of an index finger or any other finger. It is more up to you, it's up to your taste or how you like to perform it. And from here, our aim first is to get the top card all the way to the bottom like this. To do that, what we're going to do first, besides pushing it forward slightly, is to get our index finger involved, like if we'll be pulling a trigger. But in this case, what we're gonna do is to like drag the top card down first 90 degrees. And once we're in this position, then to continue dragging it down to the bottom, we're gonna involve our middle finger by extending it. So we create some room and space so we can continue the sequence and drag it down all the way to the bottom like this with our index finger. Once we're here, then our aim is to clip the card in between our middle and index finger so we can just create this flickering motion. So to do that, what we're gonna do now is to get our middle finger into its natural position as we started. And what we did now accidentally or naturally is to create a pivot point that will be very helpful for us to make our lives easier. Because what we're gonna do with the index finger is to push this the bottom card against the middle finger so it naturally pivots. So it's getting it, let's say, the index finger into the best position for us to clip the card in between the index and the middle. And by extending it, we create this flickering motion that if you watch my tutorial on how to do one-hand card moves, it will remind you on how we do the twirl or the flicker. So here it's basically the same, but what we're gonna do is to start from this position. So again, we're gonna just push the card against the middle finger so we get it into the best position for us to flicker it. And now we create this flickering motion by extending our middle finger and index like this. So from here, what we're gonna do now is super simple, is to bring the card that was now in the bottom to the top by curling our index and middle finger down. So the index gets out while the middle continues by dragging the card all the way back to the top. And from here, we're already at the last part, which is basically getting our thumb, the side of it contacting the whole card, so we have as much contact as possible. So we can start dragging the card all the way to the left side, while also involving the rest of the fingers, the middle ring and pinky, to get the deck somehow trapped so we can start to open our palm and create space so we can naturally, with our thumb, drag all the way the card back to the bottom, while also with the index finger extending it so we'll leave the room, perfect room for us to then recover it, square the deck up so we can start over and over until we're satisfied. So if you made it so far, I recommend you to go through all the details, try to interiorize them. And what I'm gonna do now in this section is basically pull the whole thing together. So whenever you interiorize or learn all the details needed, you can just skip all this part and go straight into this review section where you can easily see how to perform it so you can get used to it and you don't have to go through the details again. As I said, always start from a mechanics position. We're gonna push the top card forward, then with our index finger, we're gonna pull it down and drag it all the way down to the bottom. From here, what we're gonna do is to push the card on the bottom against the middle finger, then flicking it like this, bring it back to the top like this, and from here now we're gonna drag it all the way down, not only by pulling it with our thumb, but also by helping ourselves by opening the deck with the rest of the fingers like this, and now dragging it all the way back. And as you can see also with my thumb, I'm just pushing it down, trying to put it as much as possible to the right position. But here, if we are not able to put it exactly what we needed, is where the index finger gets involved, and now we're gonna recover it and square it perfectly like this from the index and get it back now to the mechanics grip like this. So once you learn how to do it, there's something I would like to teach you as a bonus, because this is not the way I perform bullet. I perform it in a slightly different way, which is adding a slight turn by the end, which gives this nice visual touch that I like normally to do. And it's basically looking something like this. What I just did is basically in the end add this 180 turn that from my point of view looks very cool. And if you would like to learn it, this is how to do it. Here, at the moment, instead of just dragging it just simply to the bottom like this, what I'm doing is to create, let's say, a 3 pivot point, having always the trigger or the leader as the middle finger here. And what I'm doing is pulling with our middle finger while also helping the card to start rotate with the index and thumb. As you can see, I have all the card in contact with these 3 points, so I can just push it initially with all of them. But what I'm doing is basically get the middle finger to pull while also helping with the thumb and the index finger with a slight touch. And once it has enough inertia or momentum, what I'm allowing is the card to just turn naturally while also helping myself with gravity by leaning the deck towards the ground. So by maintaining a subtle pivot point, the card just naturally turns. And then when it just contacting back the top of the deck, what I'm doing is to get my thumb, in this case the whole tip with the side of it, and drawing it down all the way to the bottom as if we would do in the normal bullet. But here, what I recommend you, since this is a very complicated way to get this subtle pivot motion that I'm just describing, is to try to get used to by practicing this part independently. Because getting into this position and understanding how to make the card turn 180 degrees, it's kind of a bit challenging, because the position or the pivot point here I'm trying to hold, it is kind of balance in between having a consistent grip but also letting it loose enough so you allow the card to turn. But I understand that this for beginners could be a bit challenging to learn, but if you're interested in, I recommend you first to get familiar with this, because you can see, even though I do it intentionally, it is hard for me to sometimes get it. So I recommend you to go through it independently. So once you learn how to turn the card 180 like this, then you can just add it into the routine and see how you can incorporate it. So even though you do it mindlessly, you'll be able to do it with no issues. So that was the tutorial. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. And if so, please don't forget to give me a like. This will help me a lot. And if you have any doubts or comments about it, please don't forget to use the comment section, as I'll be very happy to assist you throughout the learning process. If you're liking it, please consider subscribing, as I'll be uploading many other tutorials that will go from basic to intermediate to more advanced, so everybody will have a tutorial according to the level. And now, if you want to keep learning with me, I'm letting you hear these super cool tutorials that I'm sure you will enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial till the end, and I hope to see you in the next one.